Fuck around, make my 40 pop.
Boruto episode 120. It has been 54 episodes since we've last seen Urashiki Otsutsuki, and they did make us wait in this episode to see him as well. Now, before I do get into the video, I do want to give a huge shout out to one of my IRL friends. His name is Tyler. He just made a YouTube channel. He talks a lot about basketball and also has some funny reactions. He also uploads some Roblox gameplay, so I highly recommend that you guys check him out, see if you guys like his content. If you guys do, I highly recommend you guys give us up to him because that's my guy. But into the actual video, Boruto episode 120. This episode was hyped ever since I dropped the spoilers video about the actual episode 120, and not saying that I created the hype, but the hype around this episode was absolutely insane, mainly because we understood that Urashiki was actually coming back after 54 episodes. The hype was so serious that early this morning Boruto was actually trending on Twitter. Now, needless for me to say, this episode was definitely a very good episode, but I do definitely have some criticism of this episode, and I'll get that out really quickly. The first thing being is the time management of the Boruto anime. This has been a problem for a very long time. This isn't just this right here, but specifically what I'm talking about is the fact that there's a lot of slice of life content, or a lot of the content that we don't necessarily want, and then there's a very tiny portion of the content that we actually want. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. Sasuke and Gaara versus Urashiki was extremely short. It was about 2 minutes long, and Boruto actually looking for Sasuke was about 16 minutes. Now, majority of the fan base would probably like to see that being flip-flop, where it's like 2 minutes of Boruto looking for Sasuke and 16 minutes of Sasuke and Gaara versus Urashiki. But the time management was absolutely off the rails. Now, of course, I do want to preface this by saying that there actually might be a flashback to give us exactly what we missed in this episode. For example, in the next episode, they might actually tell us, how did Sasuke meet up with Gaara? How did they come into contact with Urashiki? How did Sasuke put himself in this precarious position where he now has no plan? Why does Gaara need to retreat? Where is Gaara's security? Like, let's be honest, this is the Kage. The past Kages have literally been assassinated. Like, shouldn't they have some extra security measures? And not only that, Gaara himself was assassinated before in the past. What's going on? Like, where's his security? But those things that we don't know as of right now should actually become very clear to us in the future. And if they don't, I just feel like it was a very poor job of actual time management in this actual arc. Now, Sasuke stands, don't worry, I'll get him for you. The fight scenes were absolutely confusing. I didn't necessarily know exactly what was going on, and I feel like this is definitely a problem with the Boruto writers and the Boruto illustrators as well. One of the biggest things that we did not see was Sasuke using his Mangekyo Sharingan. Of course, Sasuke in a fight with an Otsutsuki member, we know how strong Urashiki can possibly be. Him actually having the upper hand with Otsutsuki puppets by his side that he actually did get from Toneri, I'll get into that later on in the video, and Sasuke understanding that he needs to find a way for the Kage to get an escape route. Why wouldn't Sasuke pull out all the stops and pretty much fight Urashiki with pretty much majority of his power? Not even majority of his power. Let's just leave the Rinnegan out for right now. Just the Mangekyo Sharingan. What was really going on? Not only that, I really feel like this is a problem with the Boruto illustrators right here, but we don't necessarily see Sasuke's Rinnegan. And I personally believe this is because the illustrators are a little bit too lazy to pretty much draw a Rinnegan every single time and in every single frame, mainly because it's something so little that the illustrators do have to spend a lot of time on it, and I definitely do understand that. But in a situation like this, like, let's be honest, it's Sasuke versus Urashiki. Like, this right here should be animated to perfection, even if it was a 2-minute fight. And because of the 2-minute fight, it should have been that much better, but still, we never seen Sasuke's Rinnegan throughout the whole scene. And in situations like this, I really wish Sasuke had his Naruto the Last hairdo, where he actually had the headband and his hair wasn't blocking his Rinnegan. If we seen that Sasuke didn't necessarily have the tomos in his eyes, for example, how we seen him back in the Shin Uchiha arc, we would understand that Sasuke is already very tired. Not only that, we don't know if Sasuke is very tired after Urashiki pretty much dragged a whole bunch of chakra out of Sasuke, again, because we can't necessarily see Sasuke's Rinnegan. And not only that, one of the most useful things in Sasuke's arsenal is, of course, the Susanoo. We didn't see the Susanoo, we didn't see any lightning style, we didn't see anything from Sasuke, and of course the Sasuke stands are going to be very mad about that. That's why I got him for you, Sasuke fans, don't worry, I got you. But still, a whole bunch of things that we didn't necessarily see from Sasuke, which was very disappointing, man, because this is Sasuke Uchiha. This is supposed to be possibly the strongest character in the Naruto verse, literally a top 5 fighter who ever walked the face of the earth, and for Sasuke to just get taken out that easily, it seemed a little bit too unrealistic, even though this is actually canon. And again, it seems this unrealistic because it was rushed, because we only seen 2 minutes of Sasuke and Gaara versus Urashiki and a couple of puppets. I really wish the scene was very much longer. And of course, as I said, there is that possibility that we do see a flashback, and it does give us a lot of the questions that were pretty much unanswered in this actual episode right here. So I really hope we actually do get that sorted out very quickly. But getting off of Sasuke and all negative things as a whole, a big part of this episode was, of course, Urashiki Otsutsuki and what he brought to the table. Now, he was out in full force today. It seemed like he didn't necessarily miss a beat at all, because he seemed like he was just that much strong. He had Kage running for the hills. He actually swiped a lot of Sasuke's chakra, and not only that, it seemed like he also had some of the Toneri's puppets also as well. Now, when I first actually seen these puppets, and I spoke about this in the spoilers, the first spoiler video that I did make about this arc, I spoke about how this definitely looks like Toneri's puppets, but when the actual spoilers came out, it says that Urashiki was controlling them, and because of that, I thought I was wrong, but it seemed like I was actually right. I know that sentence was a little bit confusing, but I was actually right. These are actually Toneri's puppets that Urashiki pretty much stole from him. Now, a big thing that I do want to point out is when Urashiki actually stole the chakra from Sasuke, and I do want to put so much emphasis on this because it pretty much encapsulates how strong Sasuke actually is. Urashiki stole a lot, and I mean a lot, of Sasuke's chakra. Look at the size of this thing. Now, just for comparison, Urashiki previously stole Gaara's chakra. He even stole Mitsuki's chakra before. Now, when he stole Mitsuki's chakra, because he was in Sage mode, there is a lot of chakra necessary from that. Mitsuki's chakra on that rod was extremely small in comparison to the behemoth, the basketball size of chakra that was stolen from Sasuke. And not only that, when Gaara and Mitsuki got their chakra stolen from them, they were pretty much done. They were incapacitated, they were passed out. Sasuke got his chakra stolen, and he was still ready to fight. Of course, I spoke about earlier how the episode actually shafted Sasuke, but just that feat alone, I mean, that's insane. Sasuke got all that chakra stolen from him, and he was still good. But after that, we seen Urashiki's Rinnegan. It looks extremely similar to the Rinnegans that we do see from Sasuke himself. This was very big when it first came out, is the fact that Urashiki's Rinnegan is actually red. Now, the first time that we did see it, we thought that it was red mainly because he just turned into the Rinnegan and it would eventually turn purple. But it seems like from this right here, it seems like it's actually red, and it's probably going to remain red for the rest of the time being because it's actually red. Now, personally, I would compare Urashiki's Rinnegan a lot more to Kage's Rinnesharingan. If you guys recall, Kage had a Rinnegan with 9 tomos instead of the 6 tomos that Toneri and Sasuke has on their Rinnegan. Kage's Rinnesharingan had a time-space ninjutsu that looks almost identical to the time-space ninjutsu that Urashiki has, where it's very pixelated. Now, the time-space ninjutsu that Sasuke has himself, it's pretty much circular. It looks a lot like the Kamui, and that's just how the overall presence is. But another thing that I do want to point out for the people who don't necessarily understand out there is the fact that Urashiki's Rinnegan is going to naturally be a lot stronger than Sasuke's Rinnegan. I did speak about this when I did actually compare the two Rinnegans. Because Urashiki is an Otsutsuki, he's going to be able to use the Rinnegan a lot more and a lot more effectively than Sasuke's going to be able to use his Rinnegan. If you guys think of the Sharingan, when Kakashi had the Sharingan, he basically had no chakra reserves, mainly because his body wasn't necessarily built for the Sharingan. But in terms of Sasuke, because he was an Uchiha and because his body was built for the Sharingan, his chakra reserves didn't necessarily take as much of a toll when he actually did use his Sharingan. And it was also significant, mainly because Sasuke had 2 Sharingans and Kakashi only had 1, and it just took so much of a toll on Kakashi. Now, in this situation, Sasuke only has 1 Rinnegan, and if he uses time space ninjutsu once, it takes up almost 33% of his whole chakra reserves. Whereas Urashiki, on the other hand, he has 2 of them, and he could pretty much spam out time space ninjutsus whenever he wants. So you guys see that dynamic, how it's pretty much almost identical in terms of the Rinnegan and the Sharingan with the Otsutsuki and also the Uchiha and other people using their main dojutsu as well. Now, off of that description, there's an obvious dilemma. The fact that Sasuke got an absurd amount of chakra stolen from him by Urashiki, and the fact that Sasuke is also another dimension, and also the fact that it takes a lot of chakra for Sasuke to escape or open a time-space portal. How is Sasuke going to get back to this dimension? Now, I say this is a problem mainly because Sasuke's gonna have to recuperate that chakra that he lost for him to be able to come back to this dimension. Now, this could possibly mean that we won't be able to see Sasuke in the foreseeable future. I really hope this won't be the case, man, because if we don't see Sasuke, we're missing a huge portion of content, and also the fact that we're probably gonna have a lot harder time defeating Urashiki Otsutsuki in the end. But let me know what you guys think about this episode in the comment section below. And I do want to remind you guys to check out my boy Nork Made Tyler, or my boy Nork Made Ty. A link to his channel will be in the description below. But it's been your boy Baara B, and we out.
Check my clock, I can't stop. Fuck around, make my 40 pop. No popcorn, I pop pistols. Reaming my body, clothing no issue. Bitch, you look sick, you need a tissue. You drop a body, I just might bless you. I'm metrosexual, no high cholesterol. Where's Jenny Craig? Bitch, just get sexual.